Coming up next on PWR Feedback Friday. Who wins between Triple H and Ambrose tomorrow at WWE Roadblock on the WWE Network? Find out and be the booker. What are our thoughts on the Big Boss Man being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? What did you have to say in response to Feedback Friday in primetime last week? All the answers and more right now on Feedback Friday for March 11th, 2016.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Feedback Friday. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero here on Friday, March 11, 2016. And what a week it's been in professional wrestling. A lot of big announcements. And we were at SmackDown this past Tuesday at the BMO Harris Bradley Center here in the Milwaukee, if you will.
Yes.
And we learned a lot about Hulk Hogan and how some things might be different between he and Terry Bollea.
Well, you know, there's that saying, things may be closer than they appear.
Careful, might poke an eye out with that. Of course, Feedback Friday brought to you by PWR, the PWR Now Network, where you can get access to all of our audio versions of our programs, including Feedback Friday, the Hotline with Mean Gene Okerlund, the Double D Podcast, Real Talk with Damian Nelson, and PWR Reaction, all available
Real Talk?
on the PWR Now Network. Yeah. It's me unfiltered.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And what is that like?
It's me unfiltered. I just say whatever is on my mind. It's a real talk. It comes up every now and again. Last time we talked about stealing the yellow light. You know, when people are driving and everybody just wants to get through that light?
Yeah.
However, most people are trying to make that last left turn to get through that light. Most intersection auto accidents occur because of people stealing the yellow. Because you're so focused on getting that light that you don't pay attention to the oncoming traffic that's also attempting to steal the yellow.
I've never done that. Stole the yellow.
Well, I've been in a vehicle with you while you're driving, and driving is like the fourth thing you're doing when you're driving.
There's a lot. I'm a multitasker.
And you should reprioritize those multiple tasks.
That's how we get stuff done.
The PWR Now Network, folks, is available on iTunes and, of course, on the Android phones via Stitcher. You can also listen to everything from the PWR Now Network at pwrshow.com. But with that being said, David Hero, let's go to this week's big story. And the big story is WWE continuing their trend of announcing inductees into the Hall of Fame weekly on Raw. And they announced the latest entrant this past Monday. The Big Boss Man is the fourth person entering the class of 2016, joining Sting, The Godfather, and the Fabulous Freebirds. Boss Man is, of course, well known for his 2 stints in WWE and his time in WCW, but he did so much before making it to the WWE for the first time in 1988. Boss Man, real name Ray Traylor, was in the UWF, and I actually remember him dearly from his time as Jim Cornette's silent bodyguard, Big Bubba Rogers, in the NWA, in the Crockett territories.
When Big Bubba Rogers became the Big Boss Man,
I was just like this. Yeah.
But Big Bubba Rogers, he was a hell of a talent even
He
back
absolutely
then.
was, yeah.
He was very good at what he does. And you know what's cool about the way the WWE has been announcing, besides just Raw every week? It's either through Rolling Stone or through Sports Illustrated.
CBS Sports this past Monday.
Or it's always some major media outlet that is now reporting this.
But isn't that their desperation to be recognized by mainstream media? Because they make such a big deal out of...
I don't think it's... If they were... It's happening. So they can't be that... It's not... Those 3 companies, Rolling Stone, CBS, and Sports Illustrated...
Bleacher Report was one as well.
They could say no.
They could, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it doesn't hurt them, but I'm just saying that they tend to place a lot of effort on the recognition that they get from outside media companies.
These websites get lots of clicks.
Clicks or hits?
Both.
Okay.
They click to hit it, and then they...
Hit it to quit it?
Yes, that. Everything like that. So I'm sure that their hits and clicks are up considerably whenever they have a WWE.
It's a new audience for them.
It is.
In some cases, yes.
Extremely. But, what's interesting about the Big Boss Man going to the Hall of Fame...
If you ever take a trip down
is they only showed the video of him from the 80s. They didn't show him as the corporate boss man.
The police officer or the correctional officer, Big Boss Man, not the boss man of the corporation.
What was interesting is, I frequent Toys R Us often, and they came out with the new...
Why? What are you doing there at Toys R Us?
I'm shopping.
For? Video games?
No, I always check all the new toys and...
Really?
Yeah.
So you like toys?
I like collectibles. So, anyways, I saw the Big Boss Man action. I'm like, first time in the line. Surprised that now I know why he came out the time he did. It's always right there in front of us.
Always.
But, Big Boss Man, I mean, his time in WCW was brutal for him.
Yeah.
He had so many different gimmicks because it wasn't working. Because
I think he had 4 names.
He is the Big Boss Man.
Right.
And his programs with Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man, I mean, it was the Mega Powers.
Do you remember
the Twin Towers?
1992, I believe it was released, or 93, the WrestleMania theme song, which is now Linda McMahon's entrance music.
Yes.
The OOO WrestleMania.
Yes.
I mean, he had a prominent part in that.
Yes, he did.
Him and Mean Gene are the 2 people that stick out to me from that video, because the Big Boss Man had a speaking role with the.
How about Mean Gene in the
stick.
Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo video?
I'm sorry?
Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo? Mean Gene. YouTube it. Or as Omar the Hookah Man would say, Google it. Omar. Google it.
I've seen Omar try to navigate a phone, and he's not very good at that.
You think you ever got that coupon?
Yeah, about 12:02 a.m. It worked out for him.
Of course he did.
But Big Boss Man, just an iconic individual in WWE, and definitely deserving
loved
of this
by
Hall of Fame
all of
induction.
his, all of the boys in the back.
Here's
Everyone
one thing.
loved him.
A lot of people talk about I think his most notable story was when he was working with the Big Boss Man in his second run in WWE. Remember dragging Big Show's daddy's coffin behind him at the funeral? But there was a reason that happened, because Boss Man was making Big Show better in that program, because Big Show was still sort of young.
Yeah,
And he was used in that role
Big
for a lot of
Boss
people.
Man, super talented, big guy. I posted earlier on my social media, meeting the Big Boss Man for the first time. I was doing a casino independent wrestling show up in the Duluth area. And, back then we could use the guys that were on the TV. We had Big Boss Man, Val Venus, we had Test, we had Road Dogg, Gangrel. All those guys were all on this show at this casino. And we picked up Boss Man at the airport. I'm like, do you need anything? He's like, yep, gotta stop at a gas station. I'm like, all right, what do you need? He's like, the new Sable Playboy came out, we gotta get it. And I wasn't expecting that, to be quite honest with you. And, he just wanted to check out that landing strip so bad. And it was just, that's what he calls it.
Coming in hot?
Yeah, apparently. And so the next 4 hours from Minneapolis to where we had to go for that show, it was Boss Man and his critique of the Sable Playboy.
Big Boss Man going into the WWE Hall of Fame on Saturday night, April 2nd, on the eve of WrestleMania. WWE also announced earlier this week that WrestleMania returns to Orlando, Florida, MCO, OBT, FLA USA, on April 2nd, 2017 at the renovated Citrus Bowl. This marks the second time in 10 years that WrestleMania will be presented from Orlando, Florida. While many may think that other cities should have gotten the bid, one can't deny that Orlando is the perfect city for WWE to host the big event. With the Performance Center and NXT in town, along with some of the most popular tourist destinations in the world, Orlando has almost become like a second home to WWE.
And you know what? It's the first time they've been back to a stadium for the second time.
That is very true.
I mean, they've done Allstate twice. They've done Madison Square Garden twice. I'm sure they've done...
Allstate 3.
3 times?
Garden 3. Allstate was 2, 13, 22.
Okay, what was the Garden? Oh,
1,
10, and
10,
20.
20.
Okay, so yeah, but this is the first time they've ever, done a stadium for a second. And, people are complaining, why didn't it go to Minneapolis? Well, first of all, the weather up in Minneapolis is very suspect.
Well, it's a domed stadium, isn't it?
But still, it's all the weather around it.
The other stuff, yeah. Hey, look, we've been to many a WrestleMania, and when you're in a warm environment...
Hold on, amigo. Check
I'm
this
not
out.
sure I'm an amigo.
Imagine they get a shoot blizzard the night before WrestleMania. And the parking lot is now 7/8 open.
Come on now, though, David. They took a huge risk with WrestleMania 29 in New York.
Ridiculous risk.
And, of course, in WWE's luck, it was
worked.
perfect.
But
It rained for 4 minutes.
But this is Minneapolis.
You're right. WWE WrestleMania is best in warm climates because there's so much activity. If you've not been to WrestleMania, there's so much activity outside of the actual event that it makes for an overall better environment, I guess I'll say again, when you could be in a warm climate. And quite frankly, Orlando is
Well, let's
the
face
perfect
it.
place.
You prefer to walk down the street with your drink in your hand.
That is legal in 2 states, Louisiana and Nevada,
Okay.
specifically New Orleans, Las
And your
Vegas.
2 favorite places to go to? Besides Orlando. Orlando's top 3. Can you imagine yourself in Orlando next year?
I can imagine myself in Orlando every day.
And it's going to be, we're already working on shenanigans for Orlando.
Oh, we are. Conference call in a few minutes, by the way.
Yeah, how about that?
Feedback Friday, folks, returns in 30 seconds right here at PWRshow.com with your comments on last week's shows and be the booker for WWE Roadblock.
It's the biggest party event of WrestleMania weekend. WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash presents Shenanigans Dallas. Join Nash and friends including Billy Gunn, Mean Gene Okerlund, Al Snow, ODB, and more for a VIP party event Friday, April 1st. Party with the biggest stars of wrestling in downtown Dallas to kick off WrestleMania weekend. Don't miss Shenanigans Dallas, hosted by Kevin Nash. Tickets are available now at PWRshow.com. That's PWRshow.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Feedback Friday here on PWRshow.com and Fight TV. Have you been enjoying the Fight TV app, David Hero?
I love it. It's so easy.
It is so, it's like magic, isn't it?
Well,
Do you believe in magic?
Magic confuses me.
How so? I'm not talking about like voodoo kind of stuff. We were talking about New Orleans a little while ago.
What magic are you talking about?
Voodoo is not magic.
I didn't say voodoo was
That's black magic.
That freaks me out.
Last week on Feedback Friday, folks, we continued the discussion on Dean Ambrose, who takes on Triple H tomorrow at WWE Roadblock, and several of you shared your thoughts with us, and here they go. Firstly, user on YouTube by the name of Taking91 says, Ambrose has far more talent than Reigns. He is more charismatic, is a better talent in the ring, and has a much stronger connection to the fans. Personally, I find Reigns to be boring on the mic and unexciting in the ring. We made the comparison between Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and I don't necessarily disagree with what this user said or this person said.
You know, and I'm not defending Roman Reigns. It's kind of hard to get your charisma rolling when everyone's booing you. You know, because now you're trying too hard to appease people. Instead of just being authentic and working on your character and doing what you want to do, now you're worried about, well, they're going to boo me. Ambrose and Reigns are just two different dynamics.
Yeah, I mean, Roman Reigns is, he's got the, I can't say anything that I want to say right now because it's going to come off as Dean Ambrose hate.
Well, bro, I mean,
if you split screen Ambrose and Reigns, you have two entirely different visuals.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean one's better or worse than the other, but you have two entirely different visuals.
You know what it is? Roman Reigns reminds me of Nash.
Kevin?
Yeah.
How so?
You know, I mean, just how the fans didn't like Nash. They said he only had 5 moves. The fans don't care for Roman Reigns, but yet they're very similar as far as physical appearance. You know, they got that long black hair. They got that big, sexy look going. Women like both guys. Reigns now has the black glove like how Nash did with Diesel. Little things like that. You know?
Interesting. Very interesting.
I mean, and then you have Dean Ambrose, who you despise. I mean, we were at SmackDown, your skin crawled. Right?
He was in the main event match on SmackDown this past, or just yesterday.
It just seems too forced.
It seems very forced, and his character in the presentation of it. Folks, here's one thing that a lot of us don't realize. When Triple H is talking to people in the ring, a lot of the stuff he says is a complete shoot.
Yeah.
And go back to what he said to Dean Ambrose in the ring Monday Night on Raw. And it's a complete shoot. And I feel the same way. I feel that Dean Ambrose's character is not Dean Ambrose. It's some type of, it's a manufactured gimmick.
You can tell by how he works in the ring. There's 2 spots he does that drives me insane. It's
in the membrane?
Yes, it's where he runs up into the corner of the second turnbuckle. He runs up it to spin around and run back. Looks forced. And then when he does that gimmick where they throw him on the ropes, it's like he's going to fall through.
It's ridiculous.
It's just...
It's not realistic.
It should only happen once in a while. Mm-hmm. Not every match.
Now, there are a lot of people who use those type of things in every match as well.
But they don't use the ropes like that.
Okay.
I mean, Ziggler will always use a famouser as a transition for a false finish. Always. It never works. Why do you keep telling the guy?
My favorite part of SmackDown this past Thursday and being there live Tuesday here in Milwaukee was Dolph Ziggler, who of course is endorsed, as you well know, referring to him and one of his partners, Ambrose, the Usos, being Milwaukee's Best.
Yeah, you get it? Explain to the people about
Milwaukee's Best is a horrible beer. That is a brand that is one of the greatest beers you can also ever have. It's cheap, it's good, and having it ice cold is amazing. And the fact that Ziggler referred to that was pretty awesome. Now, remember John Cena a couple of years ago referred to Pabst Blue Ribbon, Old Milwaukee beer, when he was here. And, you know, of course, this is the beer capital of the world.
Yes.
Also, Milwaukee, I think Milwaukee or Wisconsin, the most bars per capita of any location in the United States.
Oh, I believe it. Well, Cudahy's right there, too.
West Dallas?
And South Milwaukee.
Milwaukee County.
Yeah.
Also, David said that it appeared WWE was attempting to make Dean Ambrose another Daniel Bryan. You said that last week on one of our broadcasts. User Z2Soft had the following to say in response to that. This on YouTube, and I quote, "Dean Ambrose is no Daniel Bryan. WWE can try all they want, but there is no way the crowd will get behind Ambrose like they did with Bryan."
But even the crowd gets behind him 80% of the way they did with Daniel Bryan. It's the same.
I was surprised this past Tuesday being live at SmackDown, the biggest pop, because when you watch the broadcast version, things are tweaked and changed. The biggest pop of the night was AJ Styles by far.
Yes.
Like, not that he doesn't deserve it, but you would think it would be an Ambrose, you would think it would have been a Jericho, but literally, AJ Styles got the biggest pop of the night.
Jericho would not get cheered. There might be one or two people in Milwaukee that would cheer him, but that would really be about it right now.
On Primetime Extra, did you address that comment? I forgot. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I said if he gets 80% of the...
Thank you, you did.
Yeah.
On Primetime Extra at PWRshow.com, we discussed the possibility of Kurt Angle returning to WWE in time for WrestleMania. YouTube user Karen George had an interesting scenario to think about, saying, and I quote, "What if Shane McMahon was the one to bring Kurt Angle back after WrestleMania to start a year-long program?"
Again, Kurt Angle will not pass the impact test.
That's an assumption by you.
I'm pretty confident in that.
So if he were to, this scenario would be interesting because what have we had for the last few years? That post-Mania Raw bounce.
Yes.
Because after WrestleMania, things pretty much hop into a slump. This would be that bounce.
It would more like be Hogan versus Warrior in WCW. Because both guys are considerably older.
Would there be a trapdoor involved?
I hope not. And it just wouldn't be as good. Kurt Angle, I mean, if Kurt Angle comes back, I could see him as the general manager. Remember when he's in the wheelchair for a while? How good that was?
Yeah.
But Kurt Angle, I think, physically cannot compete in a WWE ring.
One more match? Two more matches? Short run after Mania?
If he can pass the physical, sure. I don't know if he can.
Folks, if you want to see us address your comment here on Feedback Friday, simply subscribe to us. Now, that gimmick is over there, down the corner.
Oh.
Subscribe. No, that's your phone.
Oh.
You can't subscribe on the phone.
You could.
That's to other things.
Linda said that you can download the Fight app on your phone.
On your smartphone, your mobile device.
Hold on a second.
David Hero, and I don't believe that this is a smartphone.
Can someone please get Linda back here?
That's not a smartphone. And
this is a sharp phone.
folks, simply subscribe to us and then comment on our videos. And each week we select the most thought-provoking comments and share them with you right here on Feedback Friday. So be sure to subscribe now. Now, folks, when we come back, it's Be the Booker. Be the Booker here on Friday, David Hero, for tomorrow's WWE Roadblock on the network.
PWR is on the road to WrestleMania, and we're bringing total coverage of the event. It all starts with PWR March to Mania, as we welcome a WWE Hall of Famer to primetime TV every week. Road Warrior Animal joins us March 5th, followed by Ricky the Dragon Steamboat on March 12th. And then, the most famous voice in wrestling, Jim Ross, joins us March 19th and 26th. Watch PWR Primetime every Saturday at 10 p.m. on television, PWRshow.com, and Fight TV for the March to Mania, leading up to our special edition of Primetime from Dallas on April 2nd. Get more details now at PWRshow.com. PWR, the best gets better.
Welcome back, fans, to PWR Feedback Friday. Damian Nelson and David Hero here on Friday, March 11th.
I got the green pen.
I got the green pen.
That's the money.
Here comes the money.
Here, you can use your red.
I would prefer blue.
Oh, you're not going to get that. Orange is your color.
Why is that?
It matches your little gimmick in your pocket.
Super. Folks, this is Be the Booker. Can I have black, actually? Why wouldn't you offer me that?
Because that would have been racist.
No, that's how I like my coffee.
Oh.
Folks, it's Be the Booker, and tomorrow it's a special on the WWE Network called WWE Roadblock. And a couple of big matches happening there on the road to WrestleMania. And let's talk about them, because in this segment, Be the Booker, you fantasy book, or at least tell the world how you would book these matchups.
Well, yeah, that's what I do. I mean, there's a lot that goes on up in here. And I need to share it with the world to make, so it's believable.
Well, let's get right to it, folks. And the first matchup we're going to talk about is for the NXT Tag Team Championships.
Yes.
It's the Revival versus Enzo and Big Cass, the Champions Revival.
Dash and Dawson.
Yes.
Now, Dash is a super friend.
Ah, is that right?
Yes, he is.
Shirt wearing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, he is. And then you have Enzo and Big Cass, who are probably the most over tag team in all of wrestling right now.
All.
Yeah.
More so than the Ascension that we saw on SmackDown
Yes.
Thursday.
Absolutely. They were there?
Yeah, did a run in. I think it was AJ.
Oh, I didn't see that part. I wasn't really.
Were you watching TNA?
Yes, on my phone, and NXT Tag Team Championship
Yes,
match.
that's what we're talking about.
And it's gonna be a clinic, because Dash and Dawson the Revival are solid heels, great professional wrestlers. They remind me of Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson.
Wow, that's a high honor.
They're that good.
Really?
What they do is very crisp. They understand false tags. They understand how to double team. They get it. These guys have a big flashy entrance. Talking about soft SAWFT. They got the cute chick Carmella that comes out, and
Enzo's little speech.
yeah. And you know what? I think Enzo and Big Cass are finally going to grab the NXT Gold.
Last week on Primetime, our guest was Road Warrior Animal, and I talked to him about what's missing from tag team wrestling today, and he made the point that tag teams they shouldn't be thrown together,
Right.
They should be organically grown. And I think we're seeing that from these two teams.
Oh, they are, both of them. And they both complement each other, because it is, it's kind of like the Brain Busters.
Oh, the Brain Busters.
But
remember the Brain Busters versus the Rockers, 2 out of 3 falls on a Saturday night's main event when Heenan walked out on the Brain Busters?
Yes.
Because they were on their way back to WCW?
Yes. And it's gonna be really solid. I think that will be the match that everyone talks about.
Folks, another match that people are definitely talking about going into Roadblock tomorrow is Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, who had designs on that WWE World Heavyweight Championship this past Monday night on Raw.
I'm so confused by what they're doing with Roadblock, because they're trying to get steam for all these different people. Okay, you have to establish Brock Lesnar as a bigger ass kicker than ever before.
Yeah.
But is Bray Wyatt the sacrificial lamb? Because you got to realize the Wyatts eliminated Brock Lesnar and beat him down at the Rumble.
Yes, yeah, that did happen.
Okay?
Yes.
So Lesnar needs to give them the receipt. But by doing that, then you devalue Bray Wyatt, who's been nothing but great this last week on TV.
Mm-hmm. Is that why he's been nothing but great from Monday into Thursday?
Because they had to rebuild him.
Yeah.
But here is the X factors. You have the other Wyatts out there.
Mm-hmm.
You have Strowman. You have Rowan and Harper.
Yes.
And can Brock Lesnar beat all 4 of them?
Maybe that's the story that will be told.
But Brock Lesnar's not going to lose. He's not going to lose going into a match with Ambrose. If anything, here's the opportunity where Brock Lesnar wins, then the Wyatts beat him down.
So the win won't matter.
The win won't matter, but now it's an injured Brock Lesnar going into
WrestleMania?
his no-holds-barred match.
So?
No matter what happens, Brock Lesnar's going to win that match.
Okay.
He's not going to lose
Do
to
you care
Bray
to make
Wyatt.
it official here? Are you ready to make a projection?
Oh, yeah, right there. Brock Lesnar would have won 9 states right now. He's going to make wrestling great again. And he has big hands.
So does Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
But does Terry Bollea.
We can talk about that yet?
Let's save that for extra.
Primetime extra?
Folks,
Okay.
if you haven't had the opportunity to watch along Tuesday's comments that Hulk Hogan made on the witness stand
Brother.
and his trial against Gawker, it is profound, and we'll talk about it tomorrow on Extra. It's a sizable story, folks. The main event will be for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It will be Triple H defending against Dean Ambrose tomorrow night at Roadblock.
This is a very kabuki match also.
The Great Kabuki is not in this match.
Because Triple H is not going to lose. Triple H will headline the largest attended WrestleMania of all time.
Let me ask you this, and there's so much you just said right there, by the way. Let me ask you this, though. Does anybody think there is the remote chance that Dean Ambrose will win this matchup tomorrow at Roadblock?
Some people
Really?
think. Yes. Some people think.
And that's a good thing, though, right?
Sure.
Because you want that intrigue.
Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people think, oh, Brock Lesnar can help Ambrose win, and then Lesnar gets the title match against Ambrose, and then all these other... Here's the thing, fans. The talent pool is so thin, they can't afford to put 4 guys in one match.
4 of those guys in one match.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, because you need the Triple H and the Reignses and the Ambroses and the Wyatts and the Lesnars to have separate matches.
There are 3 big names on this WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar, Triple H, and The Undertaker.
And you got the whole McMahon family involved.
Okay, 4 names. McMahon.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no Cena. There's no Orton. There's no... Well, The Rock is involved. We still don't know how or what, but he's involved.
Mick Foley's going to be involved. Steve Austin will be there.
That's all great, but that's all been done before.
Right.
So, here's what I wonder, David Hero. Last year, or not last year, remember a couple of years ago when WrestleMania was basically hijacked by the fans, and I say that not in a bad way, and Daniel Bryan had to won the championship. Are they addressing that issue by giving Ambrose this chance in this card and distracting from the fact that, I mean, he's got Lesnar at Mania, so he's got a high-profile match, but are they trying to stop that same groundswell, if you will, for Ambrose going into Mania by putting him in this matchup at Roadblock?
No, because when Triple H beats him, it will just make it worse.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Triple H holding back talent. No, Triple H is one of the most recognizable faces in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay? And he will headline the most attended WrestleMania ever.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Ever?
It will be 95,000 people there.
Have you heard from Miss Jackson?
Yes, she's going to be back in town June 5th.
She called me and said sorry she couldn't make it.
Really?
I'm for real.
Huh. She asked me if I could be there. So that's why Triple H isn't going to lose to Dean Ambrose. He wants to put that on his resume. So we haven't decided.
We have not.
Triple H will leave the champion.
Can I circle this one for you?
Sure.
Because I feel good about that
Yeah.
as well. Triple H wins and defeats Dean Ambrose.
You just have that much hate that you put a black X through his heart.
Here's the thing. I don't hate Dean Ambrose. I like to make that crystal clear. I do not hate Dean Ambrose. I've said many a time on this program, he is an amazingly
You
talented
just don't like
individual.
the character.
I don't like the character at all. I believe it's an unbelievable character that is not any way, shape, or form it's not him. It's not him. The best wrestling characters have always been the person and an evolution or an amplification of that person. I feel like Dean Ambrose is a bit of a cartoon character as far as his gimmick goes, if you will. It's just not believable.
You think he's like Piper?
No, Piper was real.
Piper was believable.
Piper was crazy. We've talked to Piper. We've met Piper.
Yes.
Piper he was legit insane.
Yeah, he was.
Maybe Dean Ambrose is, but Piper was believable. Dean Ambrose is an incoherent rambler.
Roddy Piper painted half his body black.
WrestleMania 8, he sure did.
With permanent polish. You know that, right? Under the giant dumped out.
And he had to go through the...
He had to go through security.
at the
Fly
airport.
home with a big bunny for his daughter.
Oh,
Can you
gosh.
imagine that?
What would Donald Trump have to say about that? Have you done your salute today to Donald Trump? Something like this, right? When you salute and pledge to vote for him. Have you seen this? He's making people salute and pledge to vote for him, and they're doing this.
Come on.
And he doesn't see anything wrong with it. I'm not making this stuff up, folks.
They're
You can't
giving
at this
him a
point.
high five, a self-high five.
Be the Booker, folks. Triple H defeats Dean Ambrose at WWE Roadblock. And Brock Lesnar gets a win over Bray Wyatt. And Enzo and Big Cass walk out the new tag team champions of the NXT World. WWE Roadblock tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Central
You know what?
on the WWE
that
Network.
Tag, I'm going to be curious to see how well the fans sing along with Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be in Canada, right?
Toronto, yes.
Toronto.
Ontario.
Yes.
Our good friend Jimmy Corderas will be there.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Follow Jimmy because he'll be giving lots of insight.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Well, that is Be the Booker for WWE Roadblock. And now let's throw it on over to the lovely Linda Kay to explain what we've got in store for you and the rest of our programming this weekend.
To download the free Fight TV app on your smartphone so you can stream content from PWR,
Wait a minute.
ROH,
Wait a minute. What if you have a dumb phone, like a flip phone?
Well, you don't need any wires or boxes.
Oh, all right.
So download that content from PWR, ROH, and many more right now to your Wi-Fi TV. And again, no wires, no boxes. Fight TV is available for free in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Be a part of Feedback Friday by heading over to pwrshow.com and sending us your feedback or commenting on the stories on the site. Also be sure to interact with PWR on social media. Follow PWR Show at PWR Show on Twitter and on Facebook at facebook.com/PWR Show. We'll see you tomorrow night at 10 p.m. on Primetime TV as we discuss Shane McMahon's return to Raw on Monday, Sami Zayn being called up to the Raw roster, and WrestleMania returning to Orlando in 2017. We also have all the hot news from WWE, TNA, ROH, and NXT, along with DWHS and our special guest, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That's primetime tomorrow at 10 p.m. on My24 Milwaukee, YouTube, Fight TV, and PWRshow.com. We look forward to seeing you then.